please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, City Council. Mayor Burcroft, Attorney Hitchcock, our City Treasurer Stacy Page, and our newly sworn-in Deputy Clerk Robin Underwood, and to audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, September 23rd, 2019. Mr. Chair, roll call was taken at our special meeting earlier at 6:15, and we do have a quorum for this meeting. Our council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4 is the chairperson's report. Number 5 is the mayor's report. 6 is the clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, it should be for approval warrant 1918. We have number 12 should be communication, and number 13 should be adjournment. And a motion would be for an amended agenda with the numbering there on your agenda. So number 10 would be new business, number 11 would be for the warrant, number 12 would be for communication, and number 13 would be for adjournment. A motion would be in order to approve an amended agenda.
So moved to accept this amended agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe for approval of the minute agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Agenda item 2A, for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on September 9th, 2019.
So moved for September the 9th, 2019.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting held September 9th, 2019. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
2B, for approval are the minutes from the special meeting held on September 9th, 2019 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of minutes from special meeting held September 9th, 2019. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 3 is petitioner. Mr. Chair and Council, we have 3 items under petitioner, and we have Attorney Michael Brown, and he will be the representative and speaking on behalf of all 3 of those items that's listed under petitioner. These are new liquor licenses, and Mr. Brown will explain in detail, and again, action is required for each item that's listed. Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Michael Brown from the law firm of Carlin Edwards Brown in Lansing, Michigan, appearing today on behalf of the petitioner, and the name I will grant you is a little bit strange. It's Host AJA EI DTW FB LLC. And that is, of course, an entity formed specifically to hold these licenses for the 3 restaurant locations at Detroit Metro Airport in Concourse D. It is a subsidiary of a large company called Host International. Host International is based in Bethesda, Maryland, and has locations throughout the United States and Canada, including several hundred restaurants at various airports and other large locations, as well as some roadside restaurants. These 3 applications are for new restaurants going into the D concourse at Metro Airport. You'll see them described in your paperwork tonight under the DBA names of Jolly Pumpkin, Anita's Kitchen, and Outback Steakhouse. You may be familiar with all three of those names from other locations they have in Michigan. Obviously, Jolly Pumpkin is a Michigan-based operation that is licensing the use of its name for this location at the airport for this restaurant. Anita's Kitchen is a restaurant based in Royal Oak, Michigan, that is now expanding to add this location here at the airport. And Outback Steakhouse, of course, is a national franchise with several locations already in Michigan. And this is just one more they want to add to their portfolio. Hopefully you have the information in your packet sufficient for your understanding of the applications. We have filed these applications concurrently with the Michigan Liquor Control Commission, and those applications are currently underway and being investigated. I met with the MLCC investigator last week or a week and a half ago here at the airport. We walked through the locations and we anticipate approval by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission sometime probably within the next month or so. The actual opening dates for these particular restaurants, we are anticipating opening the Anita's Kitchen location on or about February 2nd, 2020. We anticipate opening the Jolly Pumpkin location on or about March 31st, 2020, and the Outback Steakhouse location on or about April 30th, 2020. So some of the construction and build out is already underway, but will obviously take some time to get accomplished because of all the other work going on at the airport right now. So that would be sort of my preliminary remarks. I'm here to take any questions you might have. Thank
John?
you.
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
This is very simple to get approved, but there's a term in here that says off the premise. What does that refer to?
Off-premise means somebody.
Off the airport, you're gonna be,
No. The premises, the licensed premises are a defined space that we have to outline for the Liquor Control Commission that indicates what the parameters of the restaurant are.
okay,
In this particular case, some of the location extends into what you might call the concourse area. So in other words, it's not just behind the wall, it's out into the concourse area a little bit. That would all be what we consider to be on-premise.
okay.
And for that, we need the Class C license in order to allow customers to consume on-premise.
Okay, because we've done these in the past, but I've never seen that term in there for that.
Off-premise means they would be able to buy a sealed drink, beer or wine, and take it from the licensed premises out into the concourse
Different
area.
parts of the airport. Okay, fine, thank you.
It must remain sealed, though, I should tell you.
Mr. Chair, can I add, our ordinance requires that, when we receive an application for a new Class C license, that it circulates through the various departments to make sure that, they didn't have any issues with it. So I did indicate that in my memo to you, that it did go through the police, fire, building, treasurer, and planning departments. And, neither one of those departments had any issues with this application. So again, we did meet the requirement as far as our city ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Any other questions from the,
If there's no other questions, I'll move on to the first one to move for the approval of the new Class C and SDM license with Sunday sales for the Jolly Roger Pumpkin, which is located in the North Terminal of Detroit Metro Airport.
Support.
it's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. This for the approval of the new Class C license with the Sunday sales and storage location at the North Terminal, Detroit Metro Airport. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you.
Item 3B, please. This requires 3 resolutions. You have to have a resolution for each entity there, so that's why we need, we have 2 more to go.
Need a motion?
Someone can make a motion.
Need a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll do for the approval of a Class C and a SDM license with Sunday sales for Anita's Kitchen, which is located also in the North Terminal of Detroit Metro Airport.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This is for approval of the new Class C action, Class C licenses for the Sunday sales. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Item 3C for Outback.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the new Class C and SDM licenses with Sunday sales for Outback Restaurant, which is located in the North Terminal at Detroit Metro Airport.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, for Class C licenses for Outback, which is located at North Terminal, Detroit Metro Airport. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
You have a question? Oh, go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Yes, on page 2 of this particular document, it says Outback no CFO. What is that referring to?
No certificate of occupancy. Well, they haven't been built yet, so
Okay.
there's no CFO
Okay.
yet.
So I
Everything's
just
in
wanted to
pro-
know, why did it say?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it just hasn't been, built yet.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The appropriate resolutions, after they've been completed, will be forwarded to the, MCLL, and also we will forward a copy to you, Mr. Brown.
Thanks very much for your help. I appreciate your time tonight.
Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight, we had 2 meetings. At 6:15, we had an executive session, which discussed union matters. At 6:30, we had executive session for attorney opinion. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Abdo.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we concur with the recommendation of the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a newly ratified collective bargaining agreement between the City of Romulus and the Police Officers Labor Council of Michigan, replacing the previous agreement which expired on December 31st, 2017. The new ratified agreement is to be effective January 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, and that was to concur with the recommendation of the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a newly ratified collective bargaining agreement between the City of Romulus and the Police Officers Labor Council of Michigan, replacing the previous agreement which expired on December 31st, 2017. The new ratified agreement is to be effective January 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2023. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion is approved. I'd just like to bring up, I went to a event Saturday, which was chaired by, Councilwoman Tally. There was a focus on the 2020 symposium, and the discussion was about the new census, which was explained. Our Councilwoman Talley, she did a tremendous job of representing the city of Romulus. There's a lot of dignitaries there. They had our County Executive Warren Evans, our Lieutenant Governor Gildred. We had our U.S. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, with Executive Director of NAACP, Kalama Andrew. And we had special guests, Angela Rye from CNN News. She did a tremendous job of explaining where we want to go with this new census. Also representing the city of Westland was Councilwoman Green, and she did a great job of representing Westland. But again, I'd like to head off to Councilwoman Talley for doing such a great job and being in Mr. Ceremony and representing our city of Romulus. Thank you, Mr. Talley. With that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Quote I brought tonight goes as this: knowledge is power, community is strength, and a positive attitude is everything. And I picked that one because we had a great positive weekend. Wanted to give a shout out to all of those who helped with the Pumpkin Fest. I mean, we had police, fire, DPW, I know Rotary Light Parade always kicks it off Friday, the Pumpkin Fest Committee, volunteers, schools, just a great event. So I know that we had some changes with the schedule. Give feedback to that on the Pumpkin Festival Committee. If you want to volunteer, they'll take, I know, more volunteers as well, but we had a little bit of rain one day, but mostly good weather, and just thank you everybody who helped out with that, and obviously the public who came out to enjoy it. No video tonight. I do want to get into some of my action items real quick. We do have a few before you. Item A, which you have before you, is an easy one. This is a request from Mary Drury, our DDA Director, and this is to concur the administration authorize the closure of Goddard Road from Shook to Sterling. This is beginning 2 p.m. Saturday, September 28th, and that is ending at 1 a.m. Sunday, the 29th, as well as the activities for the first annual cornhole tournament. And briefly on this, is more than just a tournament. This is what makes Romulus a great hometown. We're doing this, and the groups put this together to help a couple employees and raise for some donations for Buck Carney and Walter Orm. So come on out, enjoy the time, have fun, and let's help some of our hometown heroes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for a no-fee permit for the first annual cornhole tournament on September 28th.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the no-fee permit first annual cornhole tournament. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Council. Item B is a request to concur with the administration and approve the appointment of Reverend James Bowen with the term to expire December 31st of this year for the Downtown Development Authority.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Talley.
I'd like to make that motion. Sorry. To accept the appointment of Pastor James Bowen as to fill the DDA of a vacant appointment board of the vacant seat on the DDA board with the expiration of 12/31/19.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo. This is for the DDA board appointment. Any discussion? Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Item C is concur with administration's recommendation, approve appointment of Taylor Johnson to the Romulus Beautification Committee and request the reappointments of Chris Dunn, Charles Lindemuth, Edna Jameson, Doug O'Leary, Samir Saluman, Diane Banks Lambert, those terms to expire June 2nd of 2020.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams, for appointment and reappointments for the Romulus Beautification committees. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next is asking for a motion to concur with administration and approve the reappointments of Dan McAnally, his term to expire June 24th, Kathy Morris for a term to expire June 24th of 2026, and those would be to the City Romulus Officer Compensation Commission.
Chair will make that motion for the Officer Compensation Commission reappointments of Daniel McAnally and Catherine Morris.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally. This is for the appointment of Officer Compensation Commission reappointments. Any discussion?
Yes, through the chair, if I
Ms.
may.
Webb?
I'd like to just say this to all of the people who want to be appointed to these boards and commissions, as well as reappointees. It would be nice, and I know you're watching this evening, it would be nice if you were in the audience. If you are that concerned in regards to supporting the city and its employees, I feel that it's very important that me and my colleagues, I'm sure they'll have to agree with it, you should be in the audience, because if I was wanting to be placed on a committee or a commission, I would be in that audience so that the city council, who is voting to recommend you be placed on the committee or the commission, I just want you here. And in regards to our local compensation officers, you know, the job is to determine the salaries, because a lot of people at home don't understand your positions. The salaries of the city council, the mayor, the clerk, and our city treasurer. They must be fair in their judgment and actions, and they must be independent and impartial. Because we have a code of ethics in our ordinance that was adopted to assure the integrity of the local government to be fair with equal treatment of all persons. So, I said all of that to say this. I'm sure we're going to have some local compensation people coming before us again. So I hope that you are in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webb.
I think we do have the one beautification, Taylor Johnson, I believe, is here, so.
Yeah, we
always
have
encourage it. Yep.
one person, and that is encouraging. And thank you very much.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is recommendation from Ellen Craig Bragg, our city clerk, and Gary Harris, purchasing director. This is to concur with administration and consent to piggyback on the Michigan deal contract listed before you, 071B77001117. That's with Dominion Voting System, Inc. It's to purchase one ICC 1130 high-speed kit for use of upcoming elections. The amount's $35,419.76. Those funds have been verified and available out of the general fund election capital outlay account.
Through the chair, if you may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to the piggyback on the contract with the Dominion Voting System. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Williams, and that's for the piggyback on the MDL contract for the purchase of one high-speed scanner and kit. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next request is recommendation from Kevin Kraus, our Director of Fire Services, and Gary Harris, Purchasing Director. This is to concur with administration, authorize the sole source purchase of the one marquee ambulance. Total cost $60,000. That's from the city of Inkster. That's the one you approved the budget amendment from earlier, a couple weeks ago, and that was, the funds have been verified and budgeted and are available pending the second reading of that budget amendment that you see listed out of the motor vehicle fund capital outlay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the purchase of a 2016 Marquez ambulance from the city of Inkster.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for a sole source purchase of the 2016 Marquez ambulance from the city of Inkster. Discussion, Williams?
Yes. On September the 9th, we approved 73,500. This is asking us, this is saying 60,000, so should it have been amended?
Sure, I'll have Kevin Kraus come up and address that.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. So the purchase of the ambulance is for $60,000 from the city of Inkster. What we're not getting with the ambulance is a stretcher. So the stretcher portion, we were getting the mounting kits in the back of the ambulance, but we need to purchase a stretcher as well. And then there's also some graphics that need to be changed because it was a city of Inkster ambulance and vehicle that we need to send into the company to re-graphic the actual ambulance.
Right, but what I'm saying is, this was asking for a second reading. The first reading, we approved 73,500. This one, it should have at least said without the additional add-ons, because it's asking for 60,000. But, so this shouldn't be the second reading unless it's gonna say the 73,500.
So the motion through the mayor is for the approval of purchase of the ambulance at
Purchase.
60,000.
Oh,
Yeah, so the second reading will be under the clerk's report, and that second reading should have the original amount that will match the one that
The other
was
items
2
are-
meetings ago.
okay, the numbers are just not matching from the first reading.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The last action item is a recommendation from Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and Gary Harris, Purchasing Director, and it's to concur with the administration, extend the pricing bid from ITB 18/19-26 with GV Cement Contracting Company for concrete work on the Huron River Drive. The amount's $53,816. Those funds have been verified, available out of the Major Street Fund.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for extension of ITB 18/19-26 with GV Cement Contracting Company for work needed on Huron River Drive.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Tally, for extension of ITB 18/19-26 with GV Cement Contracting Company for work needed on Huron River Drive. Any discussion?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
Just to let the audience know, that this is an extension of their bid. It was bidded out before. This is just an extension of the bid.
Thank you. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I close out my report, those are the action items. I wanted to make a comment to council and to the public as well. And many of us go back quite a ways with this. I know Mr. Wadsworth and many other community leaders do. So I kind of, here we are today, 30 years dealing with this, I'll call it a cloud over our community. And what I'm referring to is the well is what it's called, or the injection well on Citron Drive. The last issued permit, or Part 111, was issued back in 2011. That was issued by the state to inject liquid hazardous waste. That permit currently is owned by EGT. We were notified of a request to transfer ownership of that well to a company called Republic. And if you recall, and some of the acronyms change, it used to be the DEQ, now it's referred to as Eagle. Irregardless, the state had that request and has approved just the transfer of the ownership portion. We were notified today. We spent the morning up in Lansing with the powers that be from the old DEQ, or the now Eagle, and voiced a lot of concerns. The number one concern that we had is that in the transfer of ownership, there is no public participation portion, which I just think is wrong. We talk about today, we talk about government, we talk about transparency, and when we asked the state why there was no opportunity for our public or even other electeds to give comment, they stated that that was not part of the process for just an ownership or name change on that facility. So we continued our dialogue all morning long with them, voicing serious, what we call safety concerns. And if you recall, the state has the authority for the above ground and then the federal for the below ground. But right now we're first dealing with the state level. And what we believe, there are serious things that the state should consider before approving an operating permit for that site. We're going to be in the process of listing a report and a document with those. We will share that with council, obviously, with photos and other things that were both agreed upon in the original 111 or things that we feel are very important to our community. One of the things, of those of you that were involved in the fight for many years, you recalled hearing a term called preempted by the state, meaning that when they built the facility, they told the locals like ourselves that we had no authority over the issuance of those permits or operation or even concern for how it was set up from a safety standpoint. We did hear a different tune today. What we heard, which was somewhat pleasing, and we're going to follow through with this, is that they do believe that they will allow, and their position is that the local government does have ordinances and laws that have to be adhered to. So we are going to be including every ordinance that we would put any other business through, all our safety concerns in this document, and we're going to be submitting that within the next week to the state to voice those concerns. In addition to those concerns, we're going to be officially requesting again that they have a public forum for residents to have a voice. Where that is, when that is, we're still going to encourage that is available for our residents and for us to have a say in what goes on in that location. We're also going to be updating our website with the contact information. So starting, this evening or tomorrow, that people want to reach out to Eagle at the state level, there'll be on the website a listed contact where they can send those concerns and stay in contact with that information. We believe that it's time to take a fresh look at some of these things that need to be addressed, and it's important enough that even today I asked that the governor's office be notified of this issue. Things have changed since 2011. Things have changed. It's a different area. Citron Drive, there's different areas with traffic and safety concerns than there were in 2011, and I believe that it's the state government's responsibility to ensure that we have a fair process, that we are heard, and that the locals do have control with the things which our responsibility is to keep our public safe. And so that we will be including that, and we will be keeping you up to date on that. My request to the state, and I would ask that all our requests to the state would be to listen to our concerns, allow our residents to be able to speak, have transparency, have a public forum so that our voices can be heard. that's the core fabric of our government, and I think that that's what I'm going to be asking. That's what I've encouraged our residents to ask. That's what I would be encouraging you to ask as well. And the bigger ask that I have for us as a community is that city council, our residents, our administration, this is one that I ask, please, that we set any differences aside, any personalities aside, and let's try to make sure that as we take our voice and we take this fight to Lansing and then even to Washington for the underground portion, please, that we can do it as one community. Please. This isn't about individuals. This isn't about personalities. This isn't about me, you, anybody else. This is about what I believe is doing the right thing. I want to make sure that we're in harmony with this, and I ask and I pledge you my support to make sure that we're working together as one community on this, and I need your help. After tonight, we will be notifying our county, our state, our federal electeds. We'll be sending a press release out. They will also get that press release. I've asked that our lobbyists tomorrow morning meet with our state rep and state senator in Lansing because they're in session and update them on this. As I said, we'll also be updating our website with contact information. It's not a new topic. It's not a fun topic. I know a lot of us that have lived through this, and a lot of people have put a lot of time, a lot of hours, and a lot of fight into this. It continues. So this is the transfer of the ownership. It hasn't been finalized, but they said that they are going to approve it. The next step would be operational conditions that we'll be submitting this document, and then from there it goes on to the feds. So I wanted to bring this to you as soon as possible. We talked about it earlier, and I pledge to you to do everything we can to help address this and keep our residents safe. So with that concludes my report.
John?
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
I could just, first of all, Mayor, I've got to compliment you on what you did with this. I mean, I've been against this well for almost 30 years, but the only positive thing that I hear the mayor talking about is we may have some local control over how it works, if there's anything positive about it. And that's my comment.
John?
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Ms. Abdo?
Mayor, did you say we're gonna have a link on our website so that we can contact?
We're going to have the contact information
Okay.
as much as possible. I don't think we'll have the contact person, and then whenever we can get more up-to-date information. We just got that today at 4 o'clock was the actual person to direct the communications to.
So if our citizens have concerns, that this is
Yes.
the person they should contact.
Yes.
All right, that's
And that's also included in the press release too, isn't it, Janice? So it'll also be in the press release that goes out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. I have 2 action items, but before I get into them, I just have one request. I'd ask if council will adopt a memorial resolution in honor of Kevin Staffield. He passed away July 30th, but the Staffield family have been lifetime residents. I believe they lived out on Middle Belt Road, and so just thought it would be nice to have this memorial resolution in honor of the family for
I'll
Kevin.
make that motion.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for memorial resolution. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. 6A for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1920-06, Motor Vehicle Fund. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of September 9th, 2019.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 19/20-06.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 19/20-06. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the last action item under the clerk's report is 6B, and this is a request to amend the fee schedule and reduce animal adoption fees. Captain Shelby is requesting that the fee schedule be amended to reduce the animal adoption fees in the amount of $5 for cats and $10 for dogs, and that's only when the shelter reaches excessive levels.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to amend the fee schedule for the,
I support that.
of cats and dogs. Cats are $5 and dogs for $10. I got a quick comment or something.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. And this is a request to amend the fee schedule and reduce animal adoption fees. Mr.
And
Wadsworth?
just a quick comment to the public. If you're looking for a cat or a dog, please go over there and look. They got cats, black ones, brown ones, yellow ones, and white ones, all different types of dogs. And the place is getting crowded. So if you're looking to adopt, now's the time to adopt. And if you do adopt and you get the cat either fixed or the dog fixed or sprayed, you actually get your money back. So it's like free. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Watt. Ms.
Thank you, Mr.
Clerk?
Chair. And again, I want to just reiterate that these reduced fees are only in the event that, when the shelter gets a little bit overcrowded. Otherwise, the fees to adopt a dog is $25, and then for cats are $15. So if it gets too crowded, you get a discount.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the clerk's report. Number 7 is the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. I just have one item under my report, and that is just to remind everyone that the 2019 summer taxes are due no later than Monday, September 30th. If you have any questions, please contact the office, and I'm sure we'll see you in the next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer.
Okay, number 8 is public comment, and this is the portion of our agenda for those that are in the audience that would like to have comments. The rules to address council can be found on the back of your agenda. To address council, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium, and we ask that you state your name. Your comments must be limited to 3 minutes. Any additional time must be upon the consent of the chairperson. Again, your comments must be the maximum of 3 minutes, and if you need additional time, you must request that additional time through our chairperson. Mr. Chair and Council, we do not have any written requests.
Any comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Councilman, Mayor, I'm trying to get this right, how to address you all. Anyway, my name is Marjorie Kelsey, and once again, I'm here to speak on, not necessarily speak on the same issue, but I guess something that bothers me is because before the city council and the city of Romulus has said we have no reports in regards to the police department. But when it comes to finding reports to give to her insurance company so that she couldn't get her car back, or them take responsibility for it, the city has paperwork, they said. They said according to the taking of her 2000 Audi, based on documents obtained from the Romulus Police Department and was authorized by the Romulus Police Department, therefore this taking does not qualify as a theft or warrant. This was given to her insurance company. So we're hindering her both ways. We're not helping her get her car back, and then we're telling the insurance company that Romulus Police Department authorized this. And if no one else is worried about, is one to her attorney saying the same thing? If no one else is worried about, if the mayor can't get a copy of a police report because none exist, and the city attorney can't get one because they don't exist, how can the insurance company and everybody else get one? Is the mayor being lied to? Is our city attorney being lied to? Is his assistant being lied to? You cannot say we don't have reports and then produce them when they're convenient for us or for the city. Now, I think you guys got copies of these some time ago, showing that the letters had went out. So if you did, please look at them again. Plus, the authorization of that car was not signed by the Romulus Police Department. It was given, but not signed. There's so much you should be thinking about when it comes to this issue. The letter, the presentation, where did he get that information from? If the mayor and the city attorney can't have access to this information, no one else should be able to have that. And I think the citizens of Romulus should be really upset about that, because it doesn't make us look good. And I mean, I'm a citizen, and I'm worried about that, how we look. And we don't have the right to have this information, even if our leaders here in the city don't have the right to have that information, then there's something wrong. Somebody's falsifying some information, somebody's collaborating with somebody, but we need to get this taken care of. That's all I'm saying. And my 13 more seconds left. I want to thank you all for listening to me, and if you do have these papers, please look at them again, because it's something wrong here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Nope.
Clerk, City Council, Mayor. Last week, or the other day, or last time we were in session, we were talking about my car as far as it being auctioned off. And I was confronted by Captain Monty last week, or the week before last, and he told me these exact words. I asked him for his documentation. He said that you FOIA'd it, and I said yes. I said this is far from over, and he stated to me that once this gets in front of Judge Parrott, it will be over. And I clearly want this to be looked into. Also, as I stated before, here is the property impound paperwork that is not signed by the person who requested it, and it's not signed by the Romulus Police Department. I'm asking for this to be checked into. Also, in the report, this document here that was submitted to me through the FOIA report clearly shows that this document was falsified. It's called a case report. It has the CR number up here. Down here, it has the CFS number, which is call for service. And then on this side, it says CR. This part of the document has been pasted onto the bottom of this paper when it should be on this paper here. Also, it was mentioned in Officer Monty's presentation that my vehicle was blocked in by the Romulus Police Department, which is not true. I gave you guys the documentation and the pictures showing that my vehicle was clearly blocked by some other car, not the Romulus Police Department. Then on top of that, in Captain Monty's report, he said that my vehicle was taken at 1:43 in the afternoon. My vehicle was taken at 11:34, and here's the picture. On top of that, Officer Monty also stated that Captain Klein's identification number, which would be his employee number, I said badge number, but it's his employee number, 00111. In fact, his true badge number or employee number is 37586. And you'll find that in Captain Monty's paperwork that he submitted to you in your report. Also, it states on here, Captain Monty stated that on the order, it said that my vehicle was being towed because it said on the order. I clearly have proof here that the order was clearly blank. And there's so many more things that I'm going to rebut on Captain Monty's presentation. So I am asking for a formal hearing to go over Captain Monty's presentation because I have a right to rebut it, and I am asking, with all due respect, to rebut it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Price. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience, to close that part out.
John,
Does anyone have questions before I sit down? Because I would like to answer if I need to.
No question.
I did. I brought up the issue of some of the information that was given to, I'm sure all of us have it, where her car was blocked in. So that should be addressed because the presentation that was given to us, it showed where her car wasn't blocked in. But she have documentations and she gave it to every last one of us that her car was blocked in. So that do need to be addressed. We don't need to just ignore it. I don't know how this council want to handle it. She do have a right, for us to hear. She wasn't here the day the presentation was done. She's saying that she has documents. I've seen some of them that was sent to me that kind of gives another perspective of what was presented to us. So, I mean, it's up to the council and your own opinion to hear it, but it's something's not right. And as I said, just that one document that she presented tonight that showed it was 4 different pictures, and it shows that her vehicle was blocked in, but when the presentation was done, it showed that there was no vehicle there.
Okay, thank you. All right, next.
Number 9 is unfinished business.
Unfinished, I just wanted to comment, I should have earlier that, and the update about Lansing also is that we had, I thank the team for getting together. We requested this meeting with the state. Number one, I wanted to clarify that. And I wanted to thank Pat Harrington, our lobbyist, who had this meeting happen first thing this morning. Our team, Neil Silver, Kevin Kraus, Jasmine Dance, Roberto, and all the behind the scenes, Steve Hitchcock. We went up and gave them some things to think about, and I appreciate that. We continue to need your help, but I wanted to make sure that you understand that we requested that with the state, and they did accommodate us, so that was appreciative on our end. So I did want to mention that. Thank you.
Number 10 is new business. Mr. Chair, I do have some new business,
Okay.
if I may.
Ms. Bright.
And please forgive me, I should have announced this under the clerk's report. But I would like to introduce to everyone the new deputy clerk for the city of Romulus. We have Robin Underwood. She's coming from the city of Ecorse. She's coming with over 12 years of experience as a clerk. She served as an elected clerk in Ecorse, also as a deputy clerk in Detroit. She holds a bachelor's degree from Fisk University in English literature. She holds a master's degree from University of Detroit Mercy in community development. So she's coming with a wealth of knowledge. We went through, with the help of our HR director, he's not here, but we had to, this was kind of new for the clerk's office to actually hire from the outside, and we had to update the job description. We posted it, the job, not just, nationwide on Deeds. We received 32 applications. We went through each one. We went through a process. We had an interview panel with clerks from 3 different communities. And so we went through the process, and again, with the help of our HR director, Mr. Lawson. And so we feel that we selected the best candidate. Romulus deserves the best. And so we're very excited to welcome Ms. Underwood to the clerk's office team and to the Romulus family. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood, would you like to say anything?
Thank you for having me, and I was at the Pumpkin Festival this past weekend on Friday, and it was beautiful, and I just want to say thank you all for receiving me, and if I have any questions, I will definitely ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, council.
thank you.
Number 11, for approval is warrant 19-18, in the amount of $664,1,984. I think I said that right.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 19-18 in the following amounts. General Fund, $132,101.46. Major Street Fund, $22,767.50. Local Street Fund, $1,926.16. Public Safety Fund, $26,702.12. Cable TV, $312.96. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,806.43. Street Lighting Fund, $45,932.57. Oakwood SAD, $219.17. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $266. CDBG, $1.25. 9/11 Service Fund, $2,029.30. NARC forfeiture for the state, $1,789.01. Library Fund, $12,368.58. DDA, $1,269.99. Tifa District 2, $2,097.75. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $810. Water and Sewer Fund, $15,276.31. Motor Vehicle, $19,243.70. Technology Services, $102.40. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $214,296.03. Revolving Fund, $2,383.50. Current Tax, $15,593.21. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $16,789.18. Payroll Fund, $122,935.26. All funds totaling $664,019.84.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 19-18 for $664,019.84. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb. Chair votes yes, warrant number 19-18 will be paid.
Number 12 is communication.
Through the chair, before we adjourn, if I may say, welcome, Robin. Normally, we take pictures with the mayor, with the clerk, with the elected officials, whoever comes in or whoever's going out. So at this time, if the mayor would announce that we at least get a picture with our new deputy clerk.
Sure, you want to do that right after?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Sure, we'll stick around.
No, I'd rather do it now because the
Oh.
public is watching when we normally
Do we have any?
that.
I don't know if we, oh, you do? You okay with that, Raj? It's up to Mr. Chairman. It's your council meeting, so.
Yeah, that's why I asked the chairman.
Well, I'm glad y'all asked me. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Up here. Oh, thank you.
Clerk and the deputy in the center.
Right under the seal, how about that?
Getting old. Blocking everything? Roger's blocking everything. Tighten up a little bit there. Tighten up.
Wait, Roger. Wait, you don't want. Boswell was pushing me.
Thought he was gonna shoot. 8x10 copy.
Mr. Chair, I would like some communication.
We on communication.
We're on communication,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Tally?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. I want to thank you, Mr. Barton, for the shout out for this past Saturday. It was a very great weekend for me. It was just a lot going on. Our beautiful parade of lights, and then our pumpkin fest. Piggyback off of the great things that the mayor was saying, and even with Robin. Is it Robin?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna learn you. What Robin was saying. The symposium, it was really jump-starting, really getting jump-started our census. You'll hear me talk about it. I'm very passionate about the census and the importance of it, and I know our city is too. It's very important. So I just want to get everybody, just be aware of the census. You'll hear more things coming down the pipeline, very, very important. So you'll hear more about that coming down. So thank you, Mr. Barton, for coming out and supporting. My mom was supported, Reverend Rita Talley, and it was just a great event. And I was just honored with the privilege of being able to serve. And then on top of that, then I come back to Romulus, and then we had all this great parade, Pumpkin Fest weekend. And the Pumpkin Fest is always a great time for me. It's a lot of bonding and a lot of unity and a lot of fellowship. And it was just great Friday night. And then Saturday, it was just great fellowship. And I've seen people hanging out Saturday night that I never saw hanging out before. So it was just a really good time. Like I said, a nice unity, fellowship, and people just having a good time. So shout out for the mayor and everybody who was involved with the pumpkin and the committee. It was a lot of hard work. One thing I do want to say that, and I think it was some things said because it was shortened to the Friday, Saturday. They need help. They need volunteers. We need to get volunteers to get involved with this so that we can get it back to 3 days because this mostly ran by volunteers. And so if we keep them same volunteers working 3 days, they get burnt out. So we need more people to volunteer and help out so that we can get back to 3 days. So yes, ma'am, yes, sir, come out and help volunteer and support the Pumpkin Fest. We need help. It's good to come and support it, but they need some help and helping people help with actually running the event. So come out and support that. And so great job with that. And then I just want to also give a shout out to our flower shop on Merriman Road franchise. We got new ownership, and I think it's Michelle Krause, who's the owner. Did some business with them a couple of weeks ago, and just great service. So I just want to shout out to Michelle Krause and her team and the great work they're doing over there when they took over that location. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
If there's no more communication, number 13 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.